This is GILA. Since an online petition was launched to protest against the refusal of the UK government to release the details of the Grooming Gang's report to the British public, there have so far been over 120,000 signatures from British citizens, including me. And there has now been a response from the Home Office dated the 24th of April. It starts off, child sexual abuse is a truly horrendous crime that shatters the lives of victims and their families. That is entirely true. There are also more condemnations of how horrific this crime is, and the point is made later on that child sexual abusers come from all walks of life and from many different age groups, communities, ethnicities, and faiths. That's also entirely true. No one would actually dispute this, but the problem with these grooming gangs in various cities and towns such as Rotherham, Telford, Manchester, and Huddersfield, which have destroyed the lives of thousands upon thousands of British children, some even as young as 11 or 12, is, as former Home Secretary Sajid Javid said in July of 2018, that abusers convicted in these cases have been disproportionately from a Pakistani background, adding that he would not let cultural or political sensitivities get in the way of understanding the problem and doing something about it. In other words, most of the abusers and rapists in these extensive grooming gangs have been Muslim, their ethnic origins coming from a country where strict Sharia law is the cultural and legal norm. As Sajid Javid is himself from a Muslim background, he is surely to be commended for his past statements here, but we should have every right to see complete and public openness in the results of this survey. And the response to the petition continues that abuse is abuse and misplaced sensitivities must never be allowed to put any child at risk. We are clear that police forces must continue to fully investigate these heinous crimes whenever and wherever they occur, and to ensure that anyone found responsible is prosecuted. To help end this terrible form of abuse, the Home Office has been investigating the characteristics of group-based child sexual exploitation. It is right, proper and routine for the government to carry out internal fact-finding work as part of policy development, as we do across a range of crime threats. Any insights gained from this important internal work will be used to inform our future action to end this devastating abuse, including the forthcoming strategy. I'm reminded of the TV programme Yes Minister from the 1980s. The minister is informed by the head civil servant in his department how to bury sensitive information by writing it in such a way that it is effectively unintelligible, but no one can say that it hasn't been referred to. The same essentially seems to be the case here. After we are told that these unthinkable crimes tear neighbourhoods apart and leave lasting scars that go beyond the direct victims, the response continues. Extremists may also seek to exploit legitimate concerns to sow further division. There is, of course, nothing extremist in being deeply concerned about the implications of Islamic ideology and Sharia law with regard to the treatment of non-Muslims. Ma malakat aymanukum, what your right hands possess, is a Quranic expression referring to slaves, and is found along with its variants meaning the same thing in some 15 passages in the Quran. And worse, Islamic teachings regard this discrimination between human beings as being in accordance with the divinely established order of things, and to undermine this order is to act against Allah. Once non-Muslim infidel girls have reached puberty, they are therefore lawful prey to rape, abuse, terrorize, and essentially to destroy. Herein lies the problem. Rotherham grooming gang rape survivor Ella Hill, as published in The Independent on the 18th of March 2018, described the attitudes of her abusers. They made it clear that because I was a non-Muslim and not a virgin, and because I didn't dress modestly, that they believed I deserved to be punished. And also, they firmly believe that the crimes they carry out are justified by their religious beliefs. She recounted that her main perpetrator quoted scriptures from the Quran to her as he beat her. Of course, we all know the reasons why the Home Office dare not publish its findings openly. Because, stupidly, successive governments have allowed in millions of Muslim immigrants who are busy having far more babies than native Britons, the powers that be are terrified of large-scale riots by Muslim men, and worse, if they actually show some backbone by naming, let alone daring to stand up against, these particular evil teachings from the Quran. So we need to do it. And most people certainly know the difference between the nice Muslim family down the road, who of course are welcome to practice their religion, so long as they respect the rights of the majority of non-Muslims to live our lives as we choose, and the evil parts of the actual ideology of Islam against non-Muslims. And as it is becoming ever clearer that the early history of Islam is not as we have been told, but it appears that the first Mecca was actually Petra, and that the Arab invasions and conquests of the Middle East and North Africa essentially predate the creation of the ideology of Islam. Its Quran, Hadith, and Sirah, the belief system of Islam really has no historical leg left to stand upon. These recent discoveries and their wide dissemination ultimately can only help open the eyes of so many good but, sadly, brainwashed people that the confusing and illogical Quran, written in a language most of them cannot actually understand in the first place, is no more the directly revealed will of the loving creator of us all than practically every other book. Thank you so much for listening. Please sign the petition if you're a British citizen, if you haven't already done so. I've given a link below, and also there are one or two other relevant links. You are welcome to post this video on any other platform or channel. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Goodbye.